to receive new deposits on a daily basis. The pension money is long-term and can be deployed for impact in the capital markets through such bankable instruments to support our economic transformation. It is not true when we deploy our investments in the capital markets that we shall resort in underinvestment in the government securities. Your Excellency, we tend to differ with some of our bilateral partners that capital markets instruments cannot find off-balance sheet solution to our roads, water, energy, and other pressing bills. If we can fund the outstanding bills through our capital markets, the trickle-down effect will reject the economy immediately. Finally, Your Excellency, we have agreed on social bonds to fund our education and health agenda. The capital markets presents a solid corporate governance environment for social investors in support of our education and health sectors. We should not look very far. The solution is here with us. Your Excellency, as I finish, we say all this knowing very well that you will not accept anything less than A+. From us, to this end, we have a pipeline of REITs, and we shall kindly invite you in a few months to launch them as we submit our improved scorecard. Asante sana, God bless Kenya and our leadership.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, we'll have Mr. Kenneth Lusa, Chairman KPDA. I request that we just stick to the agreed time. And KPDA is Kenya Property Developers Association. Karibu.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, distinguished guests, all protocols observed, good morning. It is a pleasure to be here today to represent the property sector as the chairman of the Kenya Property Developers Association, the KPDA. We're excited about the launch of the Lap Trust Imara REIT, the first REIT in Kenya promoted by a pension fund. REITs are the intersection of institutional real estate and capital. Without real estate, there would be no REITs, and without capital, there would be no REITs. It is a partnership. At the heart of that partnership here in Kenya is the partnership between institutions, and the KPDA is the partner for institutional real estate. The KPDA works across the real estate sector, and we are happy here today to pledge our support for REITs and indeed institutional real estate. It is estimated that the REIT sector could grow up to 1.5 to 2 trillion shillings over the next 10 to 15 years. That level of capital mobilization could create over 12 million square meters of new real estate and create millions of jobs. The real estate sector is one of the largest urban employment sectors in Kenya, and REITs can help provide even more jobs to city dwellers. I am no stranger to REITs myself, Your Excellency, as I'm also an executive director at ACON, the promoter behind the ACON Student Housing REIT, focused on purpose-built student accommodation launched in 2021, and I'm joined here today by my co-director, Mr. Edward Kirade, who's somewhere here. Real estate development for REITs is something that we will require work. We at KPDA are working on a capacity-building program for developers and the construction sector players to design and build housing for REITs. The program focuses on more efficient building designs to lower costs, the documentation required for institutional off-takers, environmental sustainability, and corporate governance, as well as efficient construction technology and management. The Capacity Building Program partners with the REIT Toolkit and Incubator Program housed at the REITs Association of Kenya, RAK, and Nairobi Stock Exchange. The Toolkit works to reduce the time and cost to launch a new REIT, and the Incubator provides a supportive environment for the new REIT promoters to develop and launch new REITs. The sector also requires fiscal incentives to make the economics work. The government will need to ensure incentives are working, processed quickly, and able to handle the scale of applications that will be coming through. At KPDA, we have a program that partners with the State Department of Housing to quickly process affordable housing incentives, and we are currently working with over 50 housing projects in the pipeline that we are mobilizing to obtain housing incentives. In addition to sector programs, there are several public sector challenges that affect the development of housing and real estate at scale. The first challenge is the insufficient infrastructure in urban areas and cities. The infrastructure in Nairobi and other rapidly growing cities in Kenya has not kept up with urbanization and densification, putting a strain on infrastructure services like water, sewage, and traffic. We need continued investment in modern and sustainable infrastructure to keep up with urbanization. We also need to see better training of county staff to design cities of the future and innovative financing products like PPPs and municipal taxation to mobilize capital for infrastructure. In conclusion, Your Excellency, the benefits of streamlining the housing and real estate sectors are clear. Millions of jobs, billions in tax revenues, and trillions in economic flows through the economy. It will require collaboration between public, private, and capital sectors to make work. The KPDA is here to partner with the relevant institutions to do our part for the betterment of the sector and for all Kenyans. Thank you for the opportunity to speak at this auspicious occasion, and we wish the Lab Trust Imara REIT the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Nelson Havi, Chairman, RBA. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, invited guests, friends, and stakeholders in this industry, I greet you all. Good morning. Today is a great day, and let me take this opportunity as the Chair of RBA to present to you, Your Excellency, the confirmation that the report card that has been given by Lab Trust, APTAC, and NSC is genuine and correct. As the regulator, we have provided the necessary framework to ensure that the vision and the aim and goals that are pursued in the pension industry are attained. May I take this opportunity to thank Lab Trust for taking the initiative to lead and to provide the most intended and viable solution in unlocking a sector that has remained stagnant for a long period of time. This initiative will go a long way in providing liquidity that is much needed when a pensioner requires his or her payment. Now, to the other players in the industry, please accept the clarion call from Lab Trust. Let Lab Trust not play alone in this industry. We need competition so that we can ascertain whether the product in the market is viable, and also for us as the regulator to have a panoramic view upon which to continue providing that environment for you to benefit from the pension fund. Lastly, may I ask for the impetus that is now in place towards ensuring that this rate is also adopted in the affordable housing is not lost. Much effort has been put in place, and it is our expectation that it will come to fruition sooner than later. Your Excellency and the stakeholders in this industry, may I commit the assurance of the regulatory authority in this industry that will continue providing the necessary enabling and regulatory framework to ensure that investments in this sector are undertaken for the best benefit of the people of Kenya. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson Havi. Last speech before we go to the main thing or the main part of the event, we have Mr. August Mohammed, Chairman of Capital Markets Authority. Welcome.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CSS present, PSS present, industry players, elected leaders, industry leaders, good morning. All protocols observed. I'm delighted to be part of today's session as we mark the listing and introduction of the Lab Trust Imara Income REIT on the NSC. This real estate investment trust is the first one to be issued by a pension scheme. For this, allow me to thank the trustees of Lab Trust, its members, administrators, and CPF Financial Services. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President for appointing me as the chairman of the CMA. I'd like to give my commitment as well, and that of the Capital Markets Authority, to support the government's agenda to revitalize the capital markets. Upscaling of real estate investment trust REITs as a capital markets product is quite timely, as the product can unlock the potential, as many have said. One of the key advantages of the REITs is that they offer investors an opportunity to invest in the real estate market without owning and managing physical properties. This makes investing in real estate much more accessible to a wider pool of investors, including those who may not have capital or expertise to invest in physical properties. This is an ideal investment vehicle for Mama Mboga, border communities, as the investment threshold can be as low as 500 shillings. REITs offer investors the potential for good returns, as has been said. The investments in REITs, by investing in REITs, investors can gain exposure to a diversified portfolio of properties across distinct locations and sectors. This helps spread risks and can lead to more stable returns over a long time. I wish to thank the President and the government for consistently showing support for the development of the capital markets industry. Your Excellency, as has been said by other partner regulators here, I want to promise you that as an industry we have taken your challenge, as you've done when you were here last time, and you shall be seeing the fruits of our efforts going into the future. And towards this effort, the industry would like at some point to submit a Marshall Plan on the revitalization and transformation of the capital markets of Kenya on behalf of the capital markets fraternity. This report will highlight the key focus areas, challenges, as well as proposed solutions and action points. I'd like to thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, would like to now go to the official bell ringing, which is the main part of this particular occasion. And at this point, I would like to invite the CEO, NSE, Geoffrey Odundo, who's going to guide us on how we're going to go about this. So welcome, Mr. Geoffrey Odundo, to guide His Excellency, and also to invite the following to just join His Excellency as we do this. We have Mr. Kiprono Kitonyi. We also have Mr. Jose Akili, August Mohammed, and Aida Kimemia, Job Kihumba, to just join us here as we now take this to the next level. Welcome. Let's also have the CSs present to also join us. Welcome.
Your Excellency, we now need you on the stage. So we're going to have a countdown to inaugurate the Lab Trust Imara IREIT, and we're going to have a small video, so maybe we could turn our attention to the screen where the countdown is going to happen. Thank you. Excellency, you've rang it like a school prefect. Thank you very much. So, Your Excellency, we'll now take some photographs at this stage. Then we'll move on to the trading desk to witness the first trade of the IREIT. Photos?
So if we can just have all those on stage to just take a photo. Then from there, Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, proceed to the trading desk to see or to witness the first trading that's already happening, or that's going to be happening before then we go to the next part of the program. I think we're good with the photos, so we may proceed to the trading desk where we have the live trading.
which I'm going to then put through the market. So we have orders from a buyer and a seller. So we start with the price. And then the units we are trading are 250,000. And then we put the client details. The CDS account number, and confirm the client is there. So we push the buyer to the market, as you can see. Yes. And then now we come to the seller. Since they have agreed on the price, which is 20 shillings, we put the price again and the units that we're trading. And then now we put the account for the seller. Confirm the account here.
The CDS account?
Yes, this is the CDS account. Okay. So once we push this to market, it has traded. So I'll just show you where we record the trade. It has moved up because once we have a trade, it will join the other counters that have already traded. So as you can see, we've done 250,000 of the unit at 20 shillings.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is a successful trade.
Very good.
Yes.
So we have a strike price of 20, yeah? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And we now would like to invite the CS Housing to come and just make a few remarks, then in turn invite the CS Treasury, who will in turn invite His Excellency the President. Tupigie makofi tafadhali akija. Karibu sana, CS.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, my colleague, Cabinet Secretary, Treasury, elected leaders present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to join you on this auspicious occasion as we celebrate the Local Authorities Pension Trust, Imara I rates, as they mark the important milestone of trading on the National Security Exchange. This event wouldn't have come at a better time. As you are aware, the Affordable Housing Program is designed to provide decent, accessible, yet affordable housing for all Kenyans, especially those living in informal settlements, and the government has made tremendous progress in the achievement of the 200,000 housing units annually. The 2010 Constitution emphasizes the right for every person to accessible and adequate housing and reasonable standards of sanitation. And we are committed to delivering on the Kenyan Kwanza Manifesto commitment to affordable housing for all Kenyans. Your Excellency, the government is partnering with the private sector on the delivery of affordable housing, which has become an attractive investment opportunity through the provision of land countrywide, tax incentives such as VAT exemptions and preferential corporate tax, and the aggregation and financing of buyers via the Boma Yangu platform and the Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company. Your Excellency, the ministry recognizes that the Real Estate Investment Trust structure is an ideal fit not only to raise considerable finances for development, but also to support the rent-to-own, that is the tenant purchase scheme, home ownership model for Kenyans at long-term affordable rates. The REITs structure is also suitable for the financing and delivery of much-needed affordable student housing for our universities countrywide and institutional housing for our police and defense forces. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the private sector investment in affordable housing is return-driven and can be supported ably by capital market instruments like REITs and green bonds, which provide the investment liquidity required. Through the capital markets, local private sector investors can participate in affordable housing, and this participation will catalyze further interest from international investors. The Ministry, through the State Department for Housing and Urban Development, has been a key driver of the REITs discussion and has been working closely with the Capital Markets Authority and Nairobi Securities Exchange on the development of innovative investment products to support affordable housing. We have also engaged local pension funds to participate in the affordable housing program to help unlock value from their illiquid land assets, and through the program and the capital markets, they can convert underutilized land into profitable cash-generating developments. Success, we have recently engaged a panel of financial experts and transaction advisors to develop these REITs and other innovative financing instruments to successfully bring together viable investment opportunities with the country's development agenda. Your Excellency, once again, I want to thank you for joining us during this occasion and thank you for your continued support for the affordable housing program. Thank you very much. And now I would want to invite my colleague, CS Treasury, to come also and give his remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. I think I want to observe all the protocols. I'm very happy that I'm seeing all the market players, people I've worked with, people who have given me ideas. So I'm very encouraged to be here. And I give it, or describe it as a distinct pleasure and privilege to be here to actually witness this occasion. I'm very happy that Lab Trust, Imara Real Estate Investment Trust, is actually going to be listed and ringing the bell right now, because it gives us quite a dimension in terms of what we think about. When I was trying to look at the speech, I was actually asking myself, Real Estate Investment Trust is actually signaling a fixed investment. It's actually telling us behind those units that are going to be traded, there is a long-term investment, and that is a signaling for the future. It gives me great pleasure that this is coming through. Your Excellency, the RAP Trust, Imara Rate, is restricted closed-ended real estate investment trust that will be accommodated under the restricted segment of the main investment market of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The National Treasury appreciates that this closed-ended fund will enable Kenyans wishing to invest in Lab Trust, Imara Real Estate Investment Trust to effect such investment by purchasing rate securities in the secondary market. And of course, the vibrancy of that market is actually the multiplicity of what can be traded, the diversity of the products that are to be found in the market. And the National Treasury further appreciates that owing to the restricted nature of the Real Estate Investment Trust, the Lab Trust, that is the promoter, has committed to maintain 100% ownership of the rate securities for a period of 3 years after the listing date. For us, then it means that it gives us some diversity and confidence that the market will continue to function and exceptionally well. Your Excellency, we acknowledge that growth in real estate investment will be supported in a big way when the government prioritizes affordable housing agenda. And for us, this is very, very, very important because it's a major and a key component of Kenya Kwanza Manifesto and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Housing construction is important in inducing vibrancy in economic activities across all other sectors and create jobs at all levels. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the President has reiterated that the cost of housing is a heavy burden to the majority of the Kenyans, and it's a major factor driving the proliferation of slums, or the development of slums. The government is committed to make housing more affordable, to enable more Kenyans to live in safe, dignified homes, and more importantly, create jobs and also allow room for entrepreneurships given the diverse opportunities. We believe that investing in credible income-generating assets is key to building long-term wealth, and LAPSET Imara rate is very, very important, and even Lab Trust in terms of this new product, because they are going to be regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, but more important, when they are regulated, they give confidence in terms of the market and even how they trade. And commencing trading in the securities exchange is a major signaling event that will ensure that the investment opportunities offers returns, and those returns can be tracked through the securities, the Nairobi securities market. And of course, if those securities can be tracked, it means that dividends will flow. Ladies and gentlemen, the government appreciates the financial institutions in Kenya that are now relooking at their role in housing sector, especially the real estate financing. This is a sector that is waiting to be discovered. This is a sector that provides adequate opportunities, but also more important long-term returns. We do appreciate that under this real estate investment trust, the Cooperative Bank of Kenya has been identified as the trustee, which in essence is going to be a very solid partner and trustee. Banks now are actually coming up with flexible options to cater for the rising housing needs, which cut across income cohorts. But we do believe that across all income cohorts, there is where returns and even vibrancy of investment is much appreciated. And we do need to discover this. For me, that is going to be very, very important to enhance and drive the investment in this area. Lastly, let me reiterate from the onset that the National Treasury believes that the interventions the government will provide and the partnership with key players like Lab Trust, Imara Rate, the challenges like high interest rate, mismatch between short-term nature of deposits and the long-term nature of mortgage, real estate lending can be addressed. And having the Nairobi Securities Exchange working efficiently, it gives us great pressure to actually see that you can actually solve the mismatch and even reiterate or reintroduce new and diverse products. Let me say, ladies and gentlemen, that it is a gracious opportunity for us all to witness this. And it gives me singular honor to invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of Defense Forces, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to address this group of investors. And thereafter, of course, he has rung the bell. I was actually given to understand that he will ring the bell after he has spoken. But the most important thing is that by the time he finishes his speech, we'll see how the trading is going on. But I do believe this is going to be a very important event. It is a starting point in terms of the vibrancy of this market. Your Excellency, welcome.
Thank you very much, Minister. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Let's take our seats. Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister, and all the other speakers. Maybe it is a good moment to apologize to the ladies, because all the speakers who've spoken before me somebody watching from somewhere, they will think this is a men's conference. Maybe Mr. Kili and the other people next time, let's be kinder. to the ladies. Otherwise, we run the risk of being unconstitutional. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is yet another wonderful occasion to join Kenya's capital markets fraternity in celebrating an exceptional milestone. We are here today to witness the listing by introduction of the first real estate investment trust instrument to be issued by a pension scheme. This momentous listing signifies the evolution of our capital markets, which have consistently shown resilience in the face of challenging local and global financial developments, as well as responsiveness to the needs of a market that gets increasingly complex and sophisticated with each passing day. Our capital markets' capacity to evolve on a sustainable, continuing basis is therefore a critical pillar of our competitiveness as an economy, and it is also a fundamental factor of our ability to finance development, thereby creating jobs and alleviating poverty. Today's introduction of the LAP Trust Imara Real Estate Investment Trust is the culmination of commendable collaboration among industry stakeholders in pursuit of innovative instruments that enhance the credibility, competitiveness, liquidity, and efficiency of our capital markets. To place this event in context, it is important to appreciate the role of a well-developed financial sector in powering national economic development. The presence of deep and efficient markets is a fundamental precondition for further economic growth. Kenya's financial sector is strong, competitive, and I say vibrant as well. A debt and equity market like ours has been effective in mobilizing domestic as well as international capital, thereby complementing other forms of financing, fostering the rational embrace of element of risk inherent in new, innovative, and pioneering enterprises and supporting long-term investment. The government is committed to expanding opportunities for both investors and issuers in Kenya. We are motivated in this quest by a number of compelling reasons. First of all, as I observed last week during the unveiling of the State Department of Investment Promotion and unveiling of the National Investment Council, there is urgent need to reverse our negative post-pandemic foreign direct investment outlook, which has seen Kenya stand out as the only regional economy that is not experiencing significant growth in foreign direct investment flows. It is our firm agenda to turn the situation around and take aggressive measures to return our economy as a leading destination for international investments. Secondly, I also indicated during my visit to the Nairobi Securities Exchange for the launch of the marketplace that it is imperative for our capital markets to devise appropriate mechanisms that leverage the savings component of all funds, including Hustler Fund, diaspora remittances, bank deposits, capital markets, SACCOs, insurance plans, savings held in fintech and other assets to provide a sustainable critical mass of capital to finance the transformation of our country. For sustainability, these mechanisms must be affordable to borrowers while giving an attractive return to savers. And I am persuaded that our capital markets can offer reliable alternative funding for all categories and sizes of business, which is also responsive to their long-term strategic intentions. This is how, by saving, Kenyans at the bottom of the economic pyramid can become lenders and investors who finance national development and economic growth. Thirdly, I have been to various parts of the country spreading the transformational footprint of our affordable housing program. It is our intention to increase the availability of cheap and safe houses so as to plug the housing deficit, which currently stands at about 5 million units. The execution will combine efficient building and construction, consumption of local materials and locally manufactured accessories and fixtures, and the employment of hundreds of thousands of both skilled and unskilled workers. Just to put it in context, we managed to unravel this whole sector about real estate, which was for a very long time hostage to high-end development of housing units. In fact, of the 50,000 units that were built every year, you could hardly get 2% of it being affordable. We decided to intentionally and deliberately desegregate the housing sector, and the biggest component that always impeded the development of not just affordable housing, but housing in general, was the cost of land. In fact, it contributed maybe up to anywhere between 20 and 30% of the cost of a house. We have since, as a government, made land for construction of houses free. And I want to congratulate many counties that have made close to 4,000 acres of land in very prime land in many parts of our towns, in fact, towns across Kenya, worth anywhere between 20 and 30 billion Kenya shillings. That's the land that currently is available for housing that you don't have to pay for. We also sorted out one more problem. Everybody was building a designer house. And you know what designer means. So to be able to build houses on scale, it became necessary to standardize all the aggregates of what builds up to a house. Standardize doors, standardize windows, standardize all the components of a house. And today I can tell the private sector proudly that we have standardized all doors for all affordable housing units. We have standardized all windows, hinges, and all the other components. And in our plan of 200,000 houses, what that means is that we, the private sector, the cement manufacturers, the steel manufacturers, the people involved in housing, producing housing products, you now have a clear path on what you can build your business towards. In our housing plan of 200,000 houses every year, our cement manufacturers, you now have 20 million bags of cement that we can consume, 10 million tons of steel, 2 million tons of nails, 1 million doors, standardized doors, so you can produce in scale because we will consume 3 million pieces of windows. So those listening to me can begin to formulate their business and go into production because we will consume these units. So, and the reason is that once we desegregate and we standardize, we can mass produce these products. Mass production reduces the cost of production and the availability of these units. And that is the whole essence behind what we are doing in our housing space. That, of course, has other attendant. One final thing we decided to resolve using the housing fund, and hopefully these REITs and all the other REITs that will come after this, and we have encouraged our pension schemes to come on board, is the offtake plan. So if we sort out the land for construction, we also make the housing development itself competitive by producing en masse and in scale. And we provide an offtake plan that is sensitive to low-income Kenyans. Then we have sorted out the whole housing jigsaw, and we can go into production. And that is what the government of Kenya is offering. We are already doing the units in 11 counties. We have advertised by 30th of this month that we not only meet the 200,000 housing units, but we surpass it. And therefore, I am challenging our pension schemes to step up and provide the offtake. I know a fund manager is looking at a treasury bond, and that gives him a fair return. I want to encourage you that you will not only get a fair return by investing in our housing scheme, but you will have big impact. You can look at a house and you can proudly say, I supported Kenya, a Kenyan to have a roof over their heads. So I think it will be a double win. We look to the capital markets as the principal source of the funds for the affordable housing program, as well as development pillar of our transformational agenda. In particular, the investors participating in the public-private partnership that will become the favored delivery mechanism, which will benefit tremendously from affordable capital sourced in liquid and efficient capital markets. Further, beyond PPPs, the government is committed to the expeditious divestiture of government interest in various entities across several sectors through privatization. We expect the capital markets to rise to the occasion and mobilize capital and give the taxpayers excellent value. Again, as I made a commitment when I came to this stock exchange, this securities exchange last year, I made a commitment that government is going to divest so that we can democratize our wealth and allow more Kenyans to own a piece of what is Kenya, and especially entities that are currently Kenyan owned. When we went to run with that exercise, we found that the law that existed was actually the biggest impediment to any privatization. It's a law that has been there for the last almost 15 years, and it has made it impossible for any divestiture to happen and for any democratization of what is owned by government to be undertaken. Yesterday in Cabinet, we approved a new law that will provide mechanisms for Kenyans to own part of what is Kenya. And I am looking forward to the Nairobi Stock Exchange, to the Securities Exchange here, to provide the necessary capital for Kenyans to buy into these entities. Additionally, it is of particular importance for me to emphasize our strong expectation that Kenya's capital markets can and must be revitalized by enlisting the participation of micro, small and medium enterprises, as well as the large multinational companies that have set up business operations in Kenya. Listing these vital actors will deepen and invigorate the capital markets considerably. I am looking forward to days in the very near future when we will be reporting every Monday and every Thursday to be the days that were traded highest in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. My second visit to the Securities Exchange today underscores the understanding that as a strategic actor in the economy, the capital markets fraternity is going to play a central role in supporting our economic recovery in the short term and national socio-economic transformation in the long term. With its impressive diversified product offering, I am confident that the NSE can facilitate investors to construct strong portfolios across a broad range of globally attractive investment products. Like other developed markets, our capital markets now offers quasi as well as advanced products, including real estate investment trusts, exchange-traded funds, and derivatives. Besides, I am encouraged to note that the NSE has invested in world-class infrastructure to enable it separate trading from post-trading activities. As a result, a platform for novel products like day trading activities has emerged. Additionally, this infrastructure provided much-needed resilience which enabled the NSE to weather the disruptions occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. It is clear, therefore, that the NSE is the ideal institution to power our economic resurgence and finance our national socio-economic transformation. It is also clear that the NSE has invested intentionally to position itself as the most attractive hub of highly attractive local, regional, and international market activity. It is ready. From where I stand, it is ready, capable, and aligned. Any entity wishing to list an offering will do well to make the NSE its first, maybe best, maybe only choice. This is what CPF Financial Services have done with these inaugural REITs, and the reasons are abundantly clear. I commend the CPF services for developing a product that astutely aligns the interests of their investors with our transformational agenda in a highly rewarding sector. This kind of visionary problem-solving, strategic imagination is needed to usher our capital markets and economy back to its traditional pioneering place. At this point, I wish to emphasize the government's commitment to sound, consistent, stable, and predictable investor protection mechanism consisting of an impartial and transparent regulatory framework. We shall not compromise on our quest to establish and maintain a standard of leadership, governance, and management in our capital markets that inspires the confidence of international capital markets actors and investors in order to reverse our recent negative performance. It is our intention to give comfort to local and international investors through credible and effective institutions and reactivate our dormant central depository investor accounts. And let me say here that something that was raised by members of the Nairobi Securities Exchange about the availability of or the dollar constraints, not just in our economy, but globally. That as a government, we have made innovative intentions and undertaken innovative strategy to ensure that we ease the burden of availability of dollar in our market. We just concluded last week an arrangement, a market-driven arrangement in our fuel sector that will see Kenya access all our fuel needs on a deferred 6-month credit. That will eliminate a demand of $500 million every month from this market. And therefore, for the people who work numbers, I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses. You better do what you must do, because this market is going to be different in a couple of weeks. And secondly, we, through the central bank, we are having conversations to reinstate the interbank exchange market that has since not worked. And I am happy that the players in that sector, including our banks, are coming forward and they are participating, and they are working with the central bank so that we can again take charge of our market and that it is not allowed to be distorted by brokers. I'm told the only place where brokers are accepted is at the exchange. Anywhere else, they are banned. And so I just want to assure those in Kenya who were facing challenges of access to dollars that we have taken steps to ensure that dollar availability in the next couple of weeks is going to be very different, because our fuel companies will now be paying for fuel in Kenya shillings. They do not have to look for dollars every month, because we have done what we must do as government to ensure that we ease the burden on people who want to realize their returns in dollars. And I was being told by the chairman of NSE, so Mr. Chairman, you have nothing to worry about. We have taken adequate steps to make sure that that is sorted. Let me also confirm to you that the government of Kenya, as I made a commitment, we are going to be listing public-owned entities shortly. And I like the fact that you have said you are ready to take me on. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. So I never lose sight of this contest, because in my desk, right in front of my desk, is the bull and the bell you gave me when I came here the last time. I also want to give you my commitment that the business and investment environment in Kenya is secure and conducive on a sustainable basis. Through the rule of law, the government will take robust measures to honor and respect the rights of all, and measures and demonstrate. Let me take that again. I also want to give you my commitment that the business and investment environment in Kenya is secure and conducive on a continuous basis. Through the rule of law, the government will take robust measures to honor and respect the rights of all, and demonstrate that no one is above the law by decisively combating impunity, lawlessness, and disorder. We have a duty to ensure that every worker and every hustler, from Mamamboga MSME to the global multinational corporation operating in Kenya, enjoy a conducive environment to pursue their goals unhindered. There is no reason whatsoever for anyone to stand in the way of free enterprise, disrupt business, or sabotage economic activity, or work as economic terrorists for personal selfish interest. Such impunity must be dealt with firmly, and full accountability enforced to vindicate Kenya's commitment as a free market economy. Once again, I congratulate Lab Trust and CPF Financial Services for this outstanding achievement, and now to declare the Laptop Imara is officially listed. The Laptop Imara IRITS is officially listed by introduction on the main investment market segment of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Congratulations. God bless you. And God bless Kenya. Asante sana.
Let us give His Excellency one more round of applause. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And with your permission, sir, CPF Lab Trust had a gift that they had prepared for you, so I'll invite Mr. Kili to just come and present.